When the childhood sweetheart came to my home to annul our engagement, my entire family beheld the barrage of comments above his head. Can the supporting female lead just leave? The engagement with the male protagonist was arranged by our parents, and he has declared that he will marry no one but the female lead. Why is she still clinging to him? This is all necessary for the plot. Without the interference of the supporting female lead, how could the male protagonist ever realize the profound love he harbors for the female lead? Ultimately, he even seeks to reclaim her by seizing the supporting female lead's family fortune to offer as a dowry. I did not hesitate. After consenting to the annulment, I swiftly departed abroad for further studies. My mother personally spread tales of the beautiful memories I shared with Su Fuiying, proclaiming that I was his white moonlight. My father accompanied Su's father daily for fishing and drinking, subtly inserting himself into various projects. The notion of seizing family wealth was one we all relished. 1. Jintang, I am truly sorry. You are an exceptionally remarkable woman, beautiful, gentle, and virtuous. Any man would be fortunate to marry you, but he is different. She is clumsy and lacks brilliance, an illustrious lineage. Without me, she would struggle to survive. Su Fuiying's handsome visage was etched with guilt and self-reproach. As I opened my mouth to respond, I caught sight of the blue comments hovering above his head. Such foolish words mirrored his own sentiments. I dug my nails into my thigh, suppressing the raging fury within me. Though the Su family possessed wealth, the Song family was not lacking either, and in fact, we subtly overshadowed them. What qualification did Su Fuiying have to annul our engagement? The more I harbored resentment, the more pitiful I appeared outwardly. With reddened eyes and a quavering voice, I spoke. I understand. I will bless you and he. However, forgive me for not being able to witness your happiness firsthand. I have decided to pursue my studies in the United States this month. With that, I lifted my skirt and dashed upstairs. He reached out to grasp my hand. At that moment, as I turned back, tears streamed down my cheeks, a sense of shattering overwhelming me. My mother positioned herself before me. Letting out a gentle sigh, she feigned helplessness as she said, "Since you have made your decision, so be it. I will speak to your parents. Matters of the heart cannot be forced." Su Fuiying expressed his gratitude. "Thank you, uncle and aunt. It is I who have wronged Jintang. In the future, I will bring He over to personally apologize." There is no need for a personal apology. Simply offering the Su family's resources would suffice. His life is not to be spared. After all, he had sworn more than once in the past to cherish me for a lifetime, declaring that betrayal would lead to his demise. Too satisfied with the answer, Su Fuiying beamed as she sought out Xia Hehe. However, her mother's gentle demeanor instantly turned stern. "Tang Tang, are you really going to America? Are you going to let him off so easily?" Your father and I both saw the comments. Indeed, my parents had also caught sight of the barrage. I promptly interjected. In recent years, the Su family has subtly declined, and it has been our family that has supported them. The benefits we have provided are not without cost. Previously, my mentor recommended that I pursue further studies at Harvard. A splendid opportunity. Su Fuiying, being inherently insecure, would undoubtedly oppose me exerting pressure on him, which has left me in a quandary. Now, with this opportunity to sever ties, I shall venture to develop foreign markets. Upon my return, I shall reclaim both principal and interest. While the veracity of the comments remained uncertain, the adage held true: once unfaithful, forever unreliable. To think they could tread upon my family in pursuit of Xia Hehe? How audacious! My father nodded approvingly. Truly our daughter. You have not disappointed us. You always maximize benefits, regardless of the situation. Although the Su family has established a foothold in the circle, what they once offered, we can now reclaim. My mother scoffed, deriding. They are all cunning foxes. Do they dare to engage us in a game of deceit? While you are abroad, Tang Tang, focus solely on your studies. Occasionally post some melancholic moments on social media. The childhood sweetheart has a destructive power akin to nuclear weapons. The Su group must be acquired, and Su Fuiying must be ruined. I nodded solemnly. Over the years, numerous new faces and emerging elites have appeared in the circle, many of whom no longer regard my family with esteem. It was indeed time to demonstrate a lesson. The comments ignited once more. Wow, the supporting characters are all ruthless. So, what if they are ruthless? Supporting characters will always remain supporting characters, no matter how formidable. They merely serve to highlight the unwavering affection of the protagonists. Fortunately, the male lead is wise and did not choose such a malicious female supporting character. Otherwise, his life would be utterly ruined. No matter how they struggle, They are destined to be cannon fodder. The hard-earned territory will only serve as a wedding garment for the male lead. I exchanged glances with my parents. Their expressions were somber, complex, and icy. I slowly added, I understand. I will cooperate with you while abroad. We are not breaking our agreement. He was the one who proposed a strong alliance. Now that he has defaulted, we shall reign supreme. The comments flickered again. Hee. I love the self-indulgence of the supporting characters. It's truly amusing. Indeed, ants dare to vie with the sun and moon. To vie with the sun and moon? I shall show them who truly embodies both. 3 weeks later, I completed all necessary paperwork and departed for abroad. Simultaneously, my parents published the announcement of my annulment with Su Fuiying in the newspaper. A doctorate requires 5 years, yet I granted myself 3. Utilizing a new number, I severed all ties with outsiders except for my parents. Only during domestic festivals would I log into my previous WeChat to post some ambiguous and melancholic moments. Sometimes it would be a beautiful blue sky with white clouds. Other times, the sorrow of fallen leaves in autumn. Occasionally, I would share meticulously chosen photos, embodying the gentle and serene celestial being he adored. Each time, he would promptly like my posts and initiate conversations, but I chose to remain unresponsive. After all, the persona of the white moonlight is one of unattainability, a self-glorifying imagination. My parents were equally supportive. Regarding the annulment, they merely stated it was unsuitable, never hinting at any faults of Su Fuiying. Even when rumors circulated about his infidelity, they swiftly defended him, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. This made Su Fuiying deeply touched. My mother would then seamlessly recount our past beautiful memories, for a lie told 100 times becomes the truth. My father also purchased equipment to accompany Uncle Su on sea fishing trips, his skin darkening considerably. However, his involvement in projects increased significantly. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. Su Fuiying married Xia Hehe. Initially, Uncle Su and Auntie disapproved, finding her unworthy due to her humble background and petty demeanor. Yet, Su Fuiying remained resolute, bolstered by my parents' backing. The wedding was grand and lively. Yet Xia Hehe received not a penny in bride price, with the ceremony tailored to Aunt Su's preferences. Her parents sat at a secondary table, let alone being given the opportunity to speak. It was said that her mother was particularly furious, nearly clashing with Aunt Su. Yet, Xia Hehe seemed unconcerned with her biological parents' humiliation, defending her in-laws. How remarkable it is that love-struck fools can overlook the disgrace of their own flesh and blood. The comments continued to praise. Flowers and cheers. With the female supporting character out of the way, the protagonists married early, and a sweet, warm post-marital life commenced. The female lead has finally risen from the ashes, marrying into wealth and becoming a lady of luxury, free from any hardships. Even if the female supporting character returns, they shall never be torn apart. The female supporting character still foolishly yearns for the white moonlight, believing the male lead will remain infatuated. It's simply laughable. Is that so? I hardly believe it. I know my mother's tactics all too well. Thus, I donned a white dress, stood by the window, and aimed for a selfie at a 45-degree angle. Caption: what was once anticipated has caused prolonged sorrow. For in the next moment, a video call from Su Fuiying came through, his tone excited yet somewhat agitated. Jean Tang, you finally accepted my video call. How are you doing over there? Several times I wanted to seek you out, but Uncle and Aunt wouldn't disclose your address. You've lost weight. Haven to you? Is the food unsuitable? Is anyone bullying you? He rambled on and on. Time indeed is a marvelous thing. He would never have shown such eagerness before. I smiled faintly. I'm doing well. Thank you for your concern. The polite and courteous words caused a smile to freeze instantly. Jean Tang, when did we become so estranged? I lowered my gaze, letting out a soft sigh. Wishing you a happy marriage. Do not let Xia Hehe down. She is a lovely and kind-hearted girl. With that, I abruptly ended the video call and turned off my phone. After the banquet concluded, my mother gleefully called me via video. After your video call with Su Fuiying this afternoon, his demeanor changed. During the evening party, I purposely had his friends mention you, and he got drunk, calling out your name, which infuriated Xia Hehe. This thorn has been embedded. Xia Hehe is petty and will certainly stir trouble for a long time. You should prepare yourself to return soon. A smile crept onto my lips. Alright, I've nearly earned enough credits. In no more than 6 months, I shall obtain my doctorate. My father's lips stretched wide, reaching his ears. Our precious daughter is truly remarkable. When the time comes, We shall host a grand celebration to announce your return to everyone. My smile radiated brighter. Many had secretly suggested I was the one abandoned, fleeing abroad to heal, eager to witness my commotion. A dual doctorate from Harvard is a prestigious achievement within the circle. When the time arrives, all will say that I was the one who left him. He was never worthy of me. The comments illuminated once more. Wow, the supporting character is quite scheming. Her parents are no better. The male lead clearly no longer holds affection for her, yet she clings on shamelessly. So, what if she possesses top-tier qualifications? The male lead only desires the soft and tender female lead. A strong woman is not favored by men. She is destined to remain single for life. No matter how much a pawn struggles, it is destined to remain a pawn. One must accept their fate. Ha, pawn? Accept fate? These two words have never graced my lexicon in this lifetime. In my life, I am the sole protagonist. 5 months later, I successfully obtained a dual doctorate from Harvard University. My parents had already boasted about it on social media, and I took 3 hours to reply to their messages from back then, inviting them to my celebration banquet. I only mentioned the time of the banquet, without specifying when I would return home. As I exited the airport, I was greeted by Su Fuiying, who had been waiting with flowers in hand. Jean Tang, congratulations. I smiled as I accepted the flowers, responding sweetly, thank you for your thoughtfulness. However, does your sister-in-law know you came to pick me up? He asked, his brow furrowed, attempting to conceal his discontent. It's fine. She won't mind, I replied with a slight smile. In just a short span of 3 years, his admiration for her had transformed into disdain and impatience. Indeed, a man's love is the cheapest commodity in the world. Throughout our journey, he chattered incessantly, boasting about how he had inherited the family business and secured numerous projects and investments, while simultaneously belittling several acquaintances in the industry. After a few rounds of drinks, he began to criticize Xia Hehe, remarking that she seemed to have changed after marriage, possessive, distrustful, ill-tempered, and particularly capricious. I remained silent, merely pulling out my phone to document his words in real time, sending them out in a grid format. Half a year ago, Xia Hehe had added me using a secondary account, pretending to be a junior student, occasionally sending me pictures from school. Unfortunately for her, only close friends and family knew about my secondary account. My social media presence related to school was entirely separate. No woman could bear to hear her beloved spoken of in such a manner. 30 minutes later, Xia Hehe stormed in, fuming. Song Jintang, you shameless mistress, she exclaimed. Fuiying is already my husband. Why do you cling to him? I frowned slightly, attempting to clarify. Sister-in-law, you've misunderstood. Fuiying and I are merely friends having a meal together. She brandished her phone at me, seething. A meal together? Then why are you two alone? Do you still wish to argue? They may have been fooled by you, but I will not be. I will capture this moment and share it online, exposing the Song family's young lady for chasing after a mistress. No sooner had she uttered those words than the door to the private room swung open, revealing 7 or 8 childhood friends returning from settling the bill. Unaware of the tension, they cheerfully remarked, Sister-in-law, we were just about to call you to pick up Brother Fuiying. Yes, drunk. And don't misunderstand. Today is a gathering of childhood friends to welcome Jintang home. Dual doctorates from Harvard, a true source of pride for us. By the way, sister-in-law, we brought you a gift. A limited edition Hermes bag. It's quite the treasure. Xia Hehe was left utterly speechless. It was only then that she noticed the lavish spread on the table, with plates and glasses scattered about. My seat was also quite distant from Su Fuiying's. I feigned ignorance of the situation, smiling as I handed her the bag. Sister-in-law, I couldn't make it back for your wedding due to my studies. This is a special gift for your marriage. I hope you like it. They say one should never strike a smiling face. Xia Hehe, already accustomed to being humble, had frequently sought to please them. Even if she sensed something amiss, she could only pretend otherwise. Thank you for such a generous gift. I apologize for not having anything prepared in my haste to come out. I smiled back. I heard from everyone that your culinary skills are quite impressive. Perhaps next time I can sample your cooking. The food abroad is rather unpalatable. This seemingly innocuous exchange of pleasantries, laden with praise, was perceived by her as a mockery of her modest background, implying that her only skill was in the kitchen. After all, few affluent families possess children who excel in cooking. She forced out a smile. Sure. I'll take Fuiying back now. You all enjoy your meal. She reached for Su Fuiying, who typically behaved well after a few drinks, but this time he shrugged off her hand. Who are you? Get away. Don't touch me, he retorted. Jintang, let us keep drinking. Wait, you tend to get rough when you drink too much, so perhaps you should drink less. Why did you take so long to return? Didn't you know I missed you? The scene grew slightly awkward. Our childhood friends rushed to mediate. Brother Fueying, don't just talk about missing Jintang. We all miss her. We grew up together. She was the one we relied on for homework, and when we got into trouble, we could always use her as a shield since she's the only girl among us. Sister-in-law, please don't misunderstand. We're all just buddies. At that moment, Xia Hihi's composure completely shattered. She dragged Su Fueying toward the exit, but he refused to budge. Infuriated, she splashed ice water from a bucket onto his face.
Suddenly,
Su Fueying was half awake. A staunch traditionalist, his pride mattered most in front of his friends and me. His expression immediately turned cold. Xia Hihi, what's wrong with you? Xia Hihi burst into tears, a display that was meant to evoke guilt and protectiveness in him. Yet, instead, it only intensified his embarrassment. Enough. Besides crying. What else can you do? With that, he turned and walked away. She hurriedly wiped her tears, sprinting to catch up, looking both pitiful and disheveled. Our childhood friends shook their heads, lamenting Xia Hihi's lack of dignity. Su Fueying had dismissed a highly capable female secretary after 3 years solely because she was a woman. Moreover, she always accompanied him to social gatherings, and several projects nearly fell through because of her presence. Whenever he went without her, she would wait outside with tear-streaked cheeks. A spectacle for onlookers. It was hardly her fault. After all, she had once been the mistress who had taken her place. With the whole world knowing we were childhood sweethearts. Yet she stubbornly clung to him, and with Su Fueying's looks, family background, and education being top-notch, many were eyeing him with envy. And then there was the periodic reemergence of his first love. Her insecurities and anxieties were palpable. Yet her pathetic demeanor only made her more despicable. She deserved it. The comments began to roll in. The supporting character is so malicious. The supporting character is so scheming, intentionally posting to create misunderstandings between the leads. But no matter how much the supporting character tries, it's futile. The leads are destined for each other, their bond only deepening. I smirked coldly. So their bond will deepen, will it? Let us wait and see. My celebration banquet was grandly orchestrated, attended by all the prominent figures in the industry. I donned a striking crimson haute couture gown. Although Xia Hihi had dressed up in a flowing cheongsam, her grace paled in comparison to my striking presence. I approached her with purpose. Su Fueying, sister-in-law, it must have been quite the journey for you. Sister-in-law, it's no wonder you hail from a scholarly lineage. You look stunning and graceful in that cheongsam. While lauding her as coming from a cultured background, the truth was that her parents were elementary school teachers, a fact well known among the circles we traversed. Laughter filled the air, mockingly echoing around us. Xia Hihi's face flushed crimson. Over the past 2 years, she had attended numerous high society gatherings, exerting tremendous effort to ingratiate herself, only to be met with derision and contempt. She was merely a lowly mistress trying to ascend, possessing nothing of value apart from her face. Furthermore, she had ingratiated herself with me, and I had secretly tripped her up on numerous occasions. Xia Hihi managed to force out a smile. How could I possibly compare to Miss Song? You are renowned as a great beauty, with countless admirers vying for your attention. This was a veiled insult, implying I was merely a social butterfly. Yet, I responded with a playful smile. Naturally, exceptional individuals attract a plethora of suitors. Let me let you in on a little secret. I don't just have male admirers. There are quite a few female ones as well. It's no surprise I wrapped up 5 years of studies in just 3. My witty and humorous remarks effortlessly diffused the sarcasm in her words. This was the fundamental social skill of a lady from a prominent family. Su Fueying smiled in agreement. Indeed, though Jintang is a girl, she is the most outstanding among us. Since childhood, her admirers have been countless. Many of us have even fought for her honor in the past. Our childhood friends chimed in. Indeed, you nearly had your head cracked open just to protect Jintang. You were the most fervent of all, confessing your feelings hundreds of times. Before they could finish, I cleared my throat to interrupt. All right, let us not dwell on the past. We were just foolish children back then. I then turned to Xia Hihi with a bright smile. If Su Fueying is giving you trouble, just let us know, and we'll take care of him. Anyone who heard this would surely commend my sense of propriety. Yet, only Xia Hihi understood that I was blatantly flaunting our little group's bullying. I had expected her to explode in fury, but she did not. So, I decided to stoke the flames further. I took a glass of white wine from the waiter's tray and smiled. Let us toast to our sister-in-law. No sooner had I spoken than Su Fuiying snatched the glass from my hand, his tone laced with exasperation and affection. Have you forgotten your allergy to white wine? You have poor tolerance and love to play. Drink juice instead. He insisted, pressing a drink into my hand. I frowned and refused. No, I don't want orange juice. He chuckled softly. You've never liked fruit. You must drink this orange juice. It's rich in vitamin C and good for your health. This intimate and familiar banter finally broke Xia Hihi's patience. Song Jintang has already said she won't drink. Why must you insist on making her? She then turned her ire towards me. Do you take pride in having a throng of men around you? Can a girl maintain a bit of dignity? You and Su Fuiying are childhood friends, but he is now married to me. Can't you keep your distance? You talk about being a white moonlight. But I see you as nothing but a scheming vixen. Disgusting. Her voice was loud, drawing the attention of everyone present. Su Fuiying's face turned crimson with anger. Enough. Xia Hihi, shut your mouth. You will return with me immediately. In a typical gathering, he would have followed suit, but this event was attended by industry giants. And the hot topic of the day was AI in the new energy sector. The Su Group was facing a significant challenge with the transformation of traditional industries, and he had to seize this opportunity. But Xia Hihi was oblivious. Her eyes were filled with love and men. Why should I leave? Why is it always me who is to go? I am your wife, your legitimate wife. Xia Hihi shouted in a fit of hysteria. Su Fuiying, how could you treat me like this? You once professed to love me for a lifetime, and inebriated, you took my virginity. I even had 3 abortions for you, nearly losing my life on the operating table. You cannot be so heartless. Wow. This explosive revelation silenced the entire room. Su Fuiying's face turned a shade of ashen fury. He yanked her hand and forcefully dragged her out. Forget about the project. He had become the laughingstock of the circle. The comments began to roll in. The mistress has no shame, making them misunderstand and argue. Don't you think the male lead lacks consideration? The mistress hasn't he done anything wrong? He was the one who pursued her, and it's only because he feels resentful that she is so outstanding now. The female lead has her issues too. She spends all her time clinging to the male lead, acting like a bitter wife. If you think about it, the male lead is quite scummy. He purposely got the innocent mistress drunk and took advantage of her, later using sweet words to make her willingly become the mistress, and now that he has married her, he no longer cherishes her. All men are selfish. The female lead should awaken and focus on her career instead of relying on the male lead. The strong female lead is amazing. A strong female lead? If she were truly a strong female lead, she wouldn't fall for a man who assaulted her. And to willingly become a mistress, bearing the stigma, especially after suffering from abortions that harmed her health. A scummy man and a scummy woman, a match made in heaven. In the new energy and AI project, I successfully entered the fray, sharing in the profits while also engaging in online sales and foreign trade channels. The Song family, which once stood at the pinnacle, regained its former glory, racing ahead. Meanwhile, the Su Group, ranked among the top 5 in the industry, faced several project decision issues and was pushed out of the top 10. Talent emerges in every generation. Being sidelined was just a matter of time. While I was busy raking in substantial profits, Xia Hihi came to find me. This time, she wasn't storming in with accusations. Instead, she suddenly knelt before me. Miss Song, I was wrong. I truly regret it. I shouldn't have competed with you for your fiancé. But I couldn't help it. He took my first time, and I had no choice but to be with him. You are so beautiful and capable, with so many men pursuing you. Could you possibly let him go? I would die without him. I spoke slowly. He assaulted you. Why didn't you report it? And you still want to marry him? That doesn't make sense. You already had feelings for him, which is why you were half-heartedly agreeable. I know this group of men all too well. There are plenty of women throwing themselves at them. They wouldn't be foolish enough to commit a crime for a woman. Her expression became uneasy. You're talking nonsense. I didn't. I coldly scoffed, dismissing her denial. Whether you did or not is irrelevant. Rest assured, I have no interest in competing with women for men. I prefer to compete with men for a livelihood. She didn't believe my words and retorted mockingly. You rich people love to put on airs. How could you give up such a wonderful man as Fuiying? No matter how capable a woman is, she ultimately seeks a good man to marry and have children. That is the final destination. A woman who is unwanted by men is destined to fail. What era are we in? And she still utters such ignorant words? It's a wonder her parents are both teachers. I scoffed. Right. You're absolutely correct. You want me to steer clear of Su Fuiying, don't you? I promise you. Aside from work-related matters, I will have no contact with him whatsoever. Even necessary work interactions will not occur in private. Is that sufficient? She paused for a moment. Really? I smiled and nodded. What benefit would I gain from lying to you? She pressed further. Then swear on heaven that if you don't fulfill this, you'll be hit by a car or struck by lightning. This woman truly has issues. I suppressed my irritation and said, I will keep my word. If you don't believe me, then don't come looking for me. She quickly replied, I believe you. You must keep your promise.
I truly adore Soothing.
I have sacrificed so much for him, I cannot bear to lose him again. Otherwise, I might as well perish. Her resolute gaze revealed that she was not jesting. Binding one's life to a man is indeed a preposterous notion. The barrage of comments erupted. The female lead is so infatuated. This is moral coercion. The supporting character has already agreed, but is still forced to swear, quite absurd. Who decreed that a woman's destiny must be to marry and raise children? All those years of studying seem utterly wasted. I find the supporting character refreshingly clear-headed, realizing her fiancé does not love her, decisively choosing to break up and leave without dragging things out or lamenting. The previous commenter is quite right. The supporting character is very perceptive, only seeking revenge on the male lead, without harming the female lead. The comments were mistaken. I am not that benevolent. I am simply too busy with work to deal with them, but now all the preparations are in place. I only await the right moment. Su Fuiying's real estate business has collapsed, incurring losses of over 300 billion. He is urgently selling off commercial properties and land, continuously shrinking his territory. In order to stage a comeback, he desperately needs my capital and connections. Thus, he sought me out. He waited for me at the company for 3 days. Yet he did not even catch a glimpse of my silhouette. I ignored his calls and messages. Frustrated, he was on the verge of storming into my office when the secretary revealed the reason for my absence. Subsequently, he and Xia Hehe engaged in the most intense quarrel they had ever experienced. Once believing each other to be the most wonderful person in the world, capable of betraying the universe, they now exchanged accusations and mockery. Ultimately, Su Fuiying could no longer endure it and proposed divorce. In a fit of rage, Xia Hehe seized a fruit knife and inflicted a deep cut on her wrist. An ambulance was called immediately. While the incident did not escalate significantly, their friends within the circle were all aware. Having grown up together, they naturally made time to visit. I was no exception. I intentionally accompanied a group of childhood friends, instructing my secretary to select the finest fruits and health products. However, upon seeing me, she struggled violently on the hospital bed. Song Jintang, you shameless wretch. How dare you show your face here? Why did you return from abroad? If it weren't for you, Fuiying and I would not have quarreled, and he would never have laid a hand on me. You are the cause of all this. As she spoke, she grabbed a vase from the table and hurled it at me with all her might.
You shameless harlot.
So fuinu heridlis childid me. The vase struck his forehead, instantly causing blood to flow. Xia Hehe, there must be limits to your madness. I have told you countless times that Song Jintang and I are merely good friends. I once had feelings for her, but since being with you, our relationship has ended. If she truly resorted to all means to be with me, we would have been married by now. What business would you have in this? I remember you were once kind and considerate. How have you become so selfish and willful? Right now, you must apologize to her immediately. Such words undoubtedly poured fuel on the fire. Xia Hehe sprang from the bed and rushed toward the window. Her movements were so swift that by the time everyone reacted, she had already climbed onto the window ledge. An 8-story drop could be fatal. Xia Hehe clung to the window, screaming hysterically. Don't come any closer. If you do, I will jump. Song Jintang, you vile woman, are you not reveling in this? Are you not delighted to finally take Fuiying from me? I told you, without him, I would die. Why are you pushing me to my end? So many men admire you. Why must you choose to be the mistress? How shameless can you be? Fuiying, I truly love you. I will never agree to a divorce. With that, she suddenly leaped out the window. Su Fuiying rushed forward, attempting to catch her, but it was too late. However, she was unharmed. I had anticipated this action and had arranged for a cushion below. Nevertheless, the incident garnered significant attention. Soon it trended online with her lying in the hospital bed, accusing me in interviews. She labeled me a shameless mistress, seducing Su Fuiying, claiming I was flirtatious, living a disordered private life. She even asserted that my degree abroad was purchased and that I had undergone multiple abortions. Just as public opinion peaked, I released the video of Xia Hihi kneeling in my office. Miss Song, I was wrong. I truly regret it. I should never have become a mistress and fought you for your fiancé. But I had no choice. He took my innocence, and I could only be with him. You are so beautiful and capable, with so many men chasing you. Can you not spare him for me? I will die without him. Who is the mistress, and who is distorting the truth is now abundantly clear. Instantly, all netizens flocked to Xia Hihi's and Su Fuiying's accounts, hurling curses. Goodness, is there such shamelessness in the world? To play the mistress and then accuse others, spreading vile rumors, it's truly disgusting. Su Fuiying is the scoundrel. Xia Hihi is the wretch. They are indeed a match made in hell. Please lock them away. Miss Song truly is a dignified individual. Even now, she endures. If it were me, I would have slapped them long ago. They are utterly deranged over a man. Women striving for excellence are never doing so for men, okay? Who is truly pandering to men here? Meanwhile, my family S stocks soared to their limit, while the Su Group stocks plummeted to new lows. The comments flowed. The female lead really ought to seek help. This is the first time I have seen a female lead exposed online. I once thought she was adorably naive. But now she seems both foolish and malicious, and the male lead is no gem either. Watching the supporting character take revenge is truly satisfying. I cannot help it. I am a sucker for intelligence. I dispatched legal letters and initiated a lawsuit against Xia Hihi. Realizing her predicament, she regretted her actions. This was a serious offense, with a minimum sentence of 3 years. Concurrently, Su Fuiying also filed for divorce. She came to me in tears, hoping for my forgiveness. I refused to see her. In her desperation, she climbed to the rooftop of my corporate building to threaten me, thinking I would relent. Instead, I called the police, and she was taken away. Congratulations to her on her 3-year prison sentence. As for Su Fuiying, his hair had turned half gray from anxiety. The company's stocks continued to set new lows daily. His father had poached several key projects, and partners withdrew their collaborations. Coupled with poor investment decisions, the company's financial chain was severed. No bank dared to lend. Salaries could no longer be dispersed, and even if all assets were sold off, they could only last a month at most. Su Fuiying approached me. This time, I readily agreed to meet him. He exclaimed excitedly, "Jintang, I knew you would help me. You have no idea how ungrateful those people are. As soon as I encountered trouble, they all vanished. Not one offered assistance, forgetting how much I had helped them. Without me, where would they be? Once my company overcomes this crisis, I will ensure they pay dearly." I leaned back in my chair, a smirk playing on my lips. You are entirely correct. They are truly ungrateful wretches. He eagerly nodded in agreement, his gaze fervent as he looked at me. Jintang, it was my folly to have been deceived by that wretched Xia Hihi. I have already filed for divorce from her. Within 6 months, I will be single again. And then I will treat you well, never again neglecting you. You have seen the state of my company. Please finance me 50 billion for now. And let us collaborate on the new energy and AI projects. I will soon resolve this predicament. At that time, I shall bestow upon you a 20% stake in the corporation as a dowry. Whether you bring a trousseau is of no consequence, for we are, after all, family, and no longer strangers. Jintang, after traversing countless trials, I have come to realize that the one I love is you. It has always been you. Marry me, for I love you. With that declaration, he produced a diamond ring from his pocket and knelt on one knee. I extended my hand, only for him to excitedly attempt to place it upon my finger, at which point I swiftly struck his face with my hand. The vivid red imprint of my palm stood out starkly. I smirked derisively. You think you can marry me? Do you even believe you are worthy?
Su Fuiying, in disbelief,
Covered his face. Jintang, what do you mean by that? Are you blaming me for my previous relationship with Xia Hihi? I was truly deceived by her. My hand struck him again, this time with greater force and frequency. After delivering a dozen slaps, my hand ached, yet I persisted. I scoffed, Su Fuiying. Do you truly think I still have lingering feelings for you? What could I possibly desire from someone like you? Your second marriage? Your family's bankruptcy? Or perhaps your status as a mere laughingstock? He shook his head vigorously. Impossible, you have never been that materialistic. You must be speaking out of anger. I know you are upset with me. I swear, for the rest of my life, I shall treat you well, or else may lightning strike me dead. I leaned closer, my eyes twinkling with mischief. That phrase sounds rather familiar. Let me ponder when I last heard you utter such words. It was 5 years ago during your proposal, when you made the same promise and spoke of uniting our families. Alas, you broke your promise, while I remained steadfast, diligently building my career and emerging as the sole leader. Of course, I owe much of my success to your family support. I must extend my gratitude to your father, who, during our fishing trips, would inadvertently divulge details about your corporation's dealings, and you were its greatest contributor. Thanks to the feud between you and Xiahihi, I acquired a significant share of your family's assets at merely a third of the market price, both in commerce and real estate. It was at this moment that he finally grasped the situation, rising abruptly to his feet, his eyes ablaze with fury. Song Jintang, you wretched woman. You dare to deceive me. You have ruined me, and now I shall ruin you. With that, he lunged toward me, seeking to grasp my throat. I countered with a knee to his midsection, causing him to writhe in pain on the ground. I then summoned security, who promptly ejected him from the premises, allowing him to hurl insults at me from the entrance. I found each utterance to be melodious. The barrage of comments lit up the screen. What a satisfying turn of events. When it comes to strong female leads, I only recognize the supporting character. She has played her hand brilliantly. The female lead is imprisoned, the male lead bankrupt with insurmountable debt, his reputation utterly destroyed, and 3 years hence, he will find no redemption, reduced to being a plaything for the wealthy, ultimately succumbing to drugs and falling from a high-rise. The supporting character is indeed formidable, having seized their fortune and become the true protagonist. 5 years later, she leads her corporation to become a phenomenal leader in the industry, and a decade later, her business empire spans the globe, crowned as the new generation's business empress. I smiled faintly. At last, the comments reflected my desires. Business Empress, what a gratifying title. 6 months later, the Su Corporation was completely bankrupt and undergoing asset liquidation. Once a paragon of success, Su Fuiying had become the subject of ridicule. He, as the comments had foretold, continued to invest recklessly, only to face repeated failures. Initially, he dared to make bold threats, claiming I would come to regret my actions and would kneel to beg for forgiveness. Yet now, he no longer even possessed the right to see me. 3 years later, Xiahihi was released from prison. She sought out Su Fuiying, offering to help him rise again. In the end, she became a mere bargaining chip in his business dealings. As long as he could secure a project, anyone could sleep with her, fathers, sons, or even more. The infatuated Xiahihi ultimately met her demise at their hands. He too contracted a sexually transmitted disease and fell into drug addiction, completely ruining his life. Meanwhile, I had led my corporation to become an industry leader 2 years ahead of schedule. My glorious journey had officially commenced. As for them, they were but ants beneath my feet. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and give a like to support. Until next time, farewell.